Hello and welcome to what is a very, very interesting map that we have here. This is the latest Tinto talks, and today we're going to be talking about trade. And look at this. Look at this. This is very, very interesting. It's very intriguing, and we can even zoom in a little bit to see that we have markets. These are markets. These are not trade zones, though they may act somewhat similarly to trade zones. But these are markets, and as far as I'm aware, these can move, change, shift. Provinces can join one, move into another, etc. If the conditions apply. But I definitely think this is very interesting. It is, I would argue, a little bit ugly in a way. But I don't think that's going to be an issue. It's it looks like there's even distance to the market and their efficiency to get in there. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. I'm very much happy to see this. And let us get into the dev diary so we can have this all explained to us. Welcome to another Tinto Talks. The final of 4 on the economy system of our secret game with the code name Project Caesar. Today we'll talk about all the things related to trade, including markets, merchants, and trades. This talk is heavy on tooltip screenshots and a lot of concepts to digest, so I recommend checking through it multiple times, and believe me, I will be. Let's start with the markets themselves. These are dynamic and will change through the playthrough as countries can create new markets and disband their old if they so desire. Why would one do that? That is going to be an interesting thing to, discover. Each market has a center in a location, and the owner of that location is in control over that market. Every location and coastal sea zone will belong to the most fitting market, which depends on the market attraction of the market, the distance between the location and the market center, diplomatic factors, and more. Good to know. This is here the Riga market. Interesting flag. I'm not sure I've seen that one before. But we can see what it has a surplus of, what it has a need of. Jesus, there is their market attraction and the most powerful merchants within the Riga market. Sweden, Hanseatic League, Livonian Order, Bishopric of Özel, and the Teutonic Order. The Riga market has control over much of the Baltic region in the start of the game, and okay, right, I'm just a moment. I want to point out that in yesterday's video, I made a speech error, let's say. I made a speech error. We saw the building called the Tannery, and I saw these 2 piles of dust, and in my head, I said that was probably salt. Out of my mouth came the word sand. Can I just point out that my mouth was correct? It is in fact sand. That is exactly what that is. That is intriguing. That is interesting. That is very much not what I expected it to be. Yeah, there is a lack of sand in the Riga market, and therefore the tanneries will, have a bit of a struggle in the Riga market. That's insane. Okay. I didn't realize. I guess, I don't know. Okay, let's move on. Whatever. A market has merchants who have a power depending on buildings and maritime presence in the market, and a merchant capacity which depends on the infrastructure for trade that the country has in the market. The merchant power impacts which order exports from a market are executed, as there is not an endless supply of goods in a market. The merchant capacity impacts how much goods the merchant can ship. So the Hanseatic merchant capacity in Riga is, it'd be nice if there was a total at some point, and, that total was the accumulation of all of these things. Although, is that, well, what we're looking at here, 2.5, then plus 10%, plus 50%, plus 7.5%, minus 25%. So we're looking at roughly 67.5%, 40, we're looking at roughly 2. but I don't see that number any merchant capacity. I don't. Does this add up to 4.27? I don't think it would it? I don't know. Paradox math. However, they may be from different periods of the game, so who knows? But yeah, it would be nice to have that total here as well, although it depends on where this screen is in relation to this screen. As you can see in the market screenshot, every good has a local price and a supply versus demand value as well. Let's take a look at the beer price in the next tooltip. Oh my god, those graphs! Those goddamn graphs! I love me some bloody graphs. So the market price is 1.48. It changes by 0.002 each month towards the target price. There is the base price modified due to the effective supply and the effective demand and the price stability. Okay, and that is apparently cheap beer. Yeah, because the base price is 2 and the market price is 1.48. That is cheaper than market. In Riga, that makes sense. That's, I mean, the Finns travel from Helsinki to Tallinn to get cheap alcohol, and Riga is even, that's further along again. So that definitely would make sense that it'd be even cheaper there. Prices change every month towards the target price, which depends on the supply and demand of the goods in the market and the current price stability. Price stability can change through the ages as well. There's the ages. We've yet to learn how those impact things. Supply and demand. The supply of each good in a market depends on several factors. The output from the RGOs, the output from the buildings, the base production, and the burger trades. I am looking forward to knowing what that is. So what is base production? Some goods like clay, lumber, sand, and stone are produced in every single market without the need for specific RGOs. Even if an RGO with that raw material can produce much more, and there are buildings that can be built to provide these as well. Sorry about the little cut there, my son came in. Anyway, so base production built in every single market. That's pretty good. Without the need for specific RGOs is also very good. But yeah, no, that's good. I think food is also on that list, because we saw in a previous dev diary that they're producing a certain amount of food, and in the comments, Johan said, well, they would produce much more if there was, fish as a trade good instead of stone. I think it was in Kalmar. So I believe probably food is probably in there as well. But yeah, being produced in every market, regardless of RGOs, is probably a good idea. Also, your burgers will trade on their own if they have the capacity for it. They will attempt to address the needs within the market and can trade in a slightly shorter range, thus enriching their estate. There are laws and privileges that impact them, like the Trade Monopolies estate privilege that the Hanseatic League has granted in the earlier screenshot, which reduces their own merchant capacity by 25 to increase the capacity of the burgers by 100%. Alright, so what about demand? This is primarily from the maintenance, input, and construction of buildings, recruiting and maintaining armies and navies, and the demands of the population, but there are more sources as well. Of course, trades themselves impact supply and demand as well. You can use your merchant capacity in a market to either export a good from that market or import a good from another market. Of course, that market needs to be within your trade range, which is not world-spanning in 1337. So this will be how you trade from, getting a tea from China, for example, in the late game. You can send your merchant there to grab the tea, bring it back. I wonder, is it going to be two ways? Can you have a trade where a merchant sends goods and then gets goods in return? Or is it going to be one trade per good? Anyway, a trade is a variable amount of goods shipped from one market to another market, purchasing it for the local price in the exporting market. The longer the distance between the markets, the more the capacity each good will require to ship. Okay. This is another one of those things where I'm like, tangibility is so goddamn important in a trading system. Just having buy and sell orders really does not cut it. It doesn't do it justice. It is just simply not good enough. But the longer the distance, the more capacity each good will require to ship. You actually have to be able to transport these goods. and the higher the maintenance costs will be as well. Trades have an impact on the last land location they're in before leaving the market, and the first one they enter in the importing market, giving boosts in development to them over time. A trade always has to trace a path on the map. So I wonder, are we going to be able to get into a situation where, say, for an England that owns the South Africa, the Cape there, are they going to be able to, expand their trading range due to that? But it'll be a trading range from that market, not from London. So that market, South Africa could trade with India, and South Africa can also trade with London, but London can't trade with India. So you'd need to bring your goods that you get from India into South Africa with one merchant, and then a second merchant will bring them back to London. That would be a very interesting way of doing trade. For sure, it'd be super, super interesting, I think. And always tracing a path on the map is also just based, really. Especially if it's tangible and you can, interrupt these paths of your enemies. Imagine how freaking cool that would be. Economic warfare, just blockading will be actually impactful. Legitimately would have an impact. Whereas in EU4, it's really not as impactful as it really should be. But anyway, let's have a look at tar in the Riga market. The amount of tar trade last month, the amount to trade. The Riga market is exporting it using that much merchant capacity, and then the London market is importing it. It has a maintenance cost, and the sound tolls as well, the ones in Denmark, are also adding a cost there. That's pretty interesting. And you can cancel a trade. Again, hopefully we can have this be a right click to cancel trade is very interesting. Well, it's not interesting, it's weird. I would have thought it would be just a button for a left click and then a confirmation box would be what I would hope for. But okay. There are also the sound tolls you've passed through Öresund or the Bosporus to consider. Diplomacy and trade. There are many diplomatic factors that impact the trade and market mechanics of Project Caesar. First of all, you can deny market access to a nation owning a market, which will reduce the attraction of their markets on your locations, but also make anyone with merchants in those markets upset with you. You can also request and or offer market access preference, making it likelier for a country's locations to belong in a certain market. Okay. So this is diplomacy that you do with another country. You can offer market access preference to that country, and then that country's land will more likely join your market, potentially. That could be interesting. If you dislike paying sound tolls, you can always try to ask for an exemption for it through diplomacy with the country controlling the strait. I feel like that's going to get abused in, multiplayer. Not abused, but, it'll be a case of... everyone would be just asking Denmark, say, to forgive the sound tolls for me, or I will attack you. I suppose it could be interesting, though. Some countries have isolated themselves completely, so you need to negotiate specific exemption to allow you to export or import from their markets. Frickin' Japan! Frickin' Japan in Victoria times! Like I've been saying, EU5 is the Victoria we never bloody got. This is... Honestly, if this entire dev diary was not on the Tinto Talks forum, but was on a, hypothetical Victoria forum, I would believe you, because this is kind of what we're seeing. It's also kind of fucking cool. I'm not gonna lie. This is... Yeah. There's also the possibility to embargo a country, which would block the merchants from that country to trade in your markets and also not be allowed to move through your country. Of course, this is a legit casus belli, so use it with care. Embargoes being casus belli is... I mean, it's the same in EU4, but again, embargoes, they're a PP generator. They're not anything actually harmful in the vast majority of cases. So other aspects to trade. Each market can have specific goods banned for export or import, with one common example being that Muslim markets will ban the import and export of wine, beer, and liquor. God damn! Banning certain goods as well is just a level of depth that I was not expecting from a trading system. Okay. We mentioned in earlier Tinto talks that markets will have stockpiles, so that surplus can be stored for a rainy day. There are buildings that will increase the amount that can be stored. There's also food in the markets, with prices adapting to the supply and demand of food as well. I wonder, would it be a wise decision to, let's say you are playing as England, you're not too worried about, like, the trade in Ireland, but you could use it as, like, a stockpile hub, so you create a few new markets, one per, what do they call their regions? They got 4, Connaught and Leinster and whatever. But you create a couple of markets in there just to send goods to and stockpile them. Like, I'm already thinking of ways to exploit this and the game isn't even out. So I'm sorry, let's move on. But that is just something I was thinking. There's also food in the markets, with prices adapting to the supply and demand of food as well. So, the top 5 food producers in the Riga market: Grodno, Västergötland, Bialystok, Uppland, and Riga. And then the consumers there: Breslau, Tavastland, Isterburg, Dorpation, Dorpat. Okay. And Königsberg. Nice. Västergötland, Sveriges Kornbord. Western Gotland is Sweden's breadbasket, maybe? There are also automation options where you can assign trading completely to the AI. If you don't want to bother with this, or potentially, if you're at war and you can't spend the time dealing with this, let the AI handle it. If you are busy at a certain point and you would like to move and do something else, let the AI handle your trades. Perfect. And then, your peace is signed. I want to go back to doing stuff in peacetime. AI, let me handle my trades. I feel like that's the perfect scenario. And also lock some trades so that the AI will not interfere with them. Perfect. So, oh, we're getting military next week! Let's go! Alright, my thoughts here. I have never liked the EU4 trading system. I never have. It's never been something that I enjoy. It's never been something that I thought should be carried over to the next game. And I have thought long and hard about what I would do to replace it. And I've never really come up with a satisfying answer to that. I came up with some kind of system in Imperator that obviously had goods, tangibility, and all that, that would transport on the map. And it's not close to this. I'd be stupid to claim as such, but it's certainly closer to this than EU4's trade is. I am tentatively happy with this. I have no idea how this is going to play out. I don't know if this is going to be the best thing ever or complete tedium. But I have no complaints. This looks like it is going to be a system that people can really play around with. And, if it's too much for them, then the AI can handle that for them, which is honestly just the perfect scenario. Something that is super in-depth that, you will have to pay attention to. But, war is a thing in these games, or should be. War is something that takes your attention. And if it's taking your attention, maybe you're not able to, give any focus at all to trading. So let the AI handle it. That seems like, a perfect workaround. It really does. But yeah, I do agree here that recommended reading it multiple times. And hey, if you want to rewatch this video multiple times, I wouldn't say no. But I'm going to go and reread this again just to make sure I understand exactly what it is I'm reading. I would encourage you to do the same. I'd also encourage you to leave your thoughts in the comment section below. I am positive about this. This is a trading system that I think could definitely work. And I feel like maybe this is... It looks crazy, but I think it also can work as well. I feel like maybe we have to just accept that this isn't gonna look as clean as EU4's trading zones, but the granularity of these provinces is on such another level that really doesn't matter. But also, can I just point out, this Germany, holy granularity, Batman. Can somebody do everybody a favor and count how many provinces there are in, or not, sorry, not provinces, locations. Some insane mad lad go and count how many locations are in Germany. I'm not going to bother, because that seems like it'd take all day. But if somebody else wants to give that a try, I would be very interested in knowing that. But yeah, we get a bunch of borders, we get the locations, markets, and etc. I'm happy. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.